The views expressed on this program are those of the producers and individuals appearing on this program and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Sun Prairie Media Center staff, its video service providers, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
Hello everyone, welcome to Simply Fun Cooking. I'm Rachel Hanson and I'm really excited to be here today because St. Patrick's Day is coming up. And so I have some classic recipes for you, of course with a little twist because that's what we do. So today we're going to make our corned beef, our cabbage, and some potatoes and carrots. But instead of boiling everything together, we're going to kind of separate them out a little bit, add a little extra boost to some of them. So we are going to start with our corned beef. We're going to make this in the quick cooker, in the pressure cooker today. Super easy, but we're going to get it started first because it's going to take about 70 minutes to cook after it comes to pressure. So the nice thing is it's really easy to set up. We're just going to take your brisket. We're going to cut it open. All right, so to our brisket, we are going to add 1.5 teaspoons of our garlic rub and 1.5 teaspoons of the 3-onion rub. Now, if you don't have these Pampered Chef rubs on hand, you can use garlic powder and onion powder, but using these rubs will give a little extra flavor. So we're just going to put these right in here, right on top. Now remember, the quick cooker is a pressure cooker, which cooks with steam. So you need to have some sort of liquid in there, and it wouldn't be an Irish meal without a stout, right? So we've got our Guinness here, and we're going to just go ahead and put the whole thing in there. Okay. Now, if you want, when you're all done cooking, you can very easily take the brisket out. You could turn the quick cooker on the sear setting, and you can thicken up the leftover juices and make it kind of into like a sauce or a gravy. Or you can just leave it as is and have more of an au jus, just to have the juice there. All right, so once we have that in there, that's all we need to do. Put it in the quick cooker, make sure we're all closed up, and we're going to put it on the beef setting for about 70 minutes. So we're going to press start, we're going to set this aside, it's going to come to pressure, it's going to cook for us. And while that's cooking, we're going to get our potatoes and carrots and cabbage ready to go. So I will be right back. All right, for our potatoes and our carrots today, we're going to make a nice stout glaze to go on top of them. So we're going to roast those in just a few minutes, but we're going to get our glaze started. We're going to use the Deluxe cooking blender on the sauce setting so that in the background this can just be mixing and heating slowly and making our glaze for us so that we don't have to stand over the stovetop constantly stirring it. So how this is going to work is we're going to use another stout, good old Guinness. Don't worry, we're saving some to have with the meal. So we're going to put a bottle of stout in there. And of course, we're using the Guinness because this is an Irish meal, but you could use any stout that you have, right? We're going to have 2 tablespoons of ground mustard. All right. And then we're going to add 1/4 cup of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of honey. I'm using dark brown sugar today, but it could be dark or light, doesn't matter. Whatever you have on hand will be just fine. The dark brown sugar will give it a little bit of extra sweetness. It's got a little more molasses in there. But again, either one will work for this recipe. All right, so 1/4 of a cup of that brown sugar, and then 1/2 of a cup of honey. Remember to get your measure-all cups out for these, especially the honey, because honey is a very tough one to get out of a regular measuring cup. This makes it so much easier. All right, then we're just going to go ahead and put the lid on. We are going to turn it to the sauce setting and press start. And it's going to slowly heat, periodically mix, bring this up to 176 degrees so it's nice and warm but not boiling. All right, we're going to set this aside and we're going to get started on our cabbage, and then we'll get our potatoes and our carrots ready to go. All right, for our cabbage, we are going to make it in our wok today. And we're going to give it a little twist. We are going to make it with bacon. I love bacon, and I think it adds a really great flavor to a lot of dishes. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take our bacon. We're actually going to use the whole package. You can actually even use more if you'd like. We're going to take it, and we're just going to take our kitchen shears and kind of cut it into chunks. We'll separate those pieces as they're cooking. We'll just get it started. So we're cutting them, each strip, into about 4 pieces. Perfect. Just like that. All right. I'm going to wash my hands quick, and then we're going to just kind of pull these pieces apart using the tongs and get them cooking. All right, so we're just going to take our tongs, kind of pull these pieces of bacon apart. And we're just going to start cooking our bacon up. We're on just medium heat. And we're going to add some onion to this. Once our bacon is not completely fully cooked, but almost there, we'll add the onion in. So I'm just going to get these pieces separated. We'll stir this periodically, and we'll get our onion all chopped up and ready to go. Now, having some bacon in here is going to give a little bit of depth to the flavor of our cabbage. Typically, we just throw the cabbage in with the potatoes, the carrots, the beef, and just kind of boil it all together. And you have a lot less control over the doneness of your cabbage. It can often end up really mushy, squishy, kind of bland in flavor. So this is going to be a great way to give it a little extra flavor and have a lot more control over how done your cabbage is. So if you like it a little bit crispier, you'll be able to stop the cooking when it's a little bit crispier. And if you like it softer, you can just keep going until it's as soft as you'd like. All right, we're going to let our bacon cook for just a couple minutes here. We'll get our onion ready. You just need 1 large onion. And we're just going to cut it into 8 wedges. So we'll take that paper off. All right. All right, so we're just going to cut this into 8 wedges, just like this. All right, super simple. That's all there is to that. And of course, we've got the rings. They will kind of break apart, fall apart as we put it in with the bacon and mix it around, but that's okay. So for now, it's all wedged up and ready to go. We're also going to get our cabbage ready. You don't need a super large head of cabbage, but it's your dish, so you can make as much or as little as you'd like. This actually happened to be the smallest cabbage at the store today, so we are going with this. So we're going to cut it in half. Now we're going to get this stem out. So I find it easier to cut it in half again. And then it's a little bit easier to get in there at an angle and get that center stem out. So we'll just take that piece out. Make sure we get it all. Because that center stem is going to be really tough. That's not the part that we want to eat. We want the nice soft leaves. And then the cabbage we want cut into 12 pieces. So we're just going to take each of these wedges and cut them into 3. And then we'll have 12 chunks of cabbage. We'll just leave them right in wedges, just like this. And again, these will kind of break apart with those layers as we are cooking them. But for now, all we need to do is cut those wedges. All right, let's go ahead and check on our bacon. Now that we got everything all cut up, ready to go. I'm actually going to turn up the heat just a little bit, get our bacon cooking a little bit faster. We've got some nice grease in the bottom of the pan here. That bacon grease is going to be perfect for caramelizing our onions. And it's going to give a lot of flavor to our dish. So I'm going to leave all that grease in there. You could choose to drain some of it off if you would like, but I wouldn't. I'm going to leave that all in there. All right. Our bacon needs a few more minutes, and then we'll add our other ingredients. So we're going to add in the onions. We're going to add in and saute them for a few minutes, kind of caramelize them a little bit. Then we'll add in the cabbage, and we're going to add in 2½ cups of chicken broth and a tablespoon of mustard seeds. So let's give our bacon just a couple more minutes, and then we'll add everything else. All right, so our bacon is almost done. So now it is time to add in the onions. So we're going to go ahead and set this aside. We're going to add in our onions, and we're just going to kind of saute these for about 3 to 4 minutes just to start getting them to caramelize a little bit. Get those down in that lovely bacon grease. Like I said, these onions will naturally break apart as they're cooking. So we'll just get them in there, get them started. All right, so we're going to let these sit in here, like I said, for about 3 to 4 minutes just to start cooking up. And then we're going to add in our cabbage, our broth, and our mustard seed. We'll bring it up to a simmer, and we're just going to let it simmer until the cabbage is to our liking. Probably takes about 15 to 20 minutes. And in that time, we're going to get our potatoes and our carrots all ready to go. All right, let's go ahead and check on our onions. You can see that they are starting to brown up just a little bit. So the edges are starting to caramelize just a little bit. That's exactly what we want. They're going to continue cooking in here as we add the cabbage and the broth and the mustard seeds. So we're going to add a tablespoon of mustard seed. Sprinkle those around. And of course, I like to get the broth bases. I think I've mentioned this before. Keeping these in the pantry is so much easier, takes up a lot less space than keeping the pre-made broth in there. So for 2½ cups, we need about 5 teaspoons of the base, which is just under 2 tablespoons. So put that in there, and then we'll add the water. So here's 2½ cups of water to make our 2½ cups of broth. Okay. We're going to give that a little mix, just to get that broth base diluted a bit. And now we're going to add in our cabbage. Now the trick is going to be to try to get some of this cabbage down underneath the liquid. Try to bring some of the bacon and the onions to the top. And we'll stir this periodically so that we can get all the cabbage down under that liquid as we are cooking. We're going to give it a nice stir here. And of course the cabbage is going to cook down a little bit as it cooks as well. So it'll break down a bit. It won't be as tall. It'll be a little bit easier to stir as it cooks. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to bring this all up to a simmer. We've got to bring that broth up to temperature. We're going to bring it up to a simmer. We're just going to stir it periodically, but we're going to let it sit and let that cabbage cook. So we're going to go ahead and cover it, and we'll check on it in a little bit. And in the meantime, I'm going to get those potatoes and those carrots ready to go. All right, it's time to get our potatoes and our carrots ready to go. So I'm just going to chop up, I've got these little baby potatoes. I'm just going to cut them in half, or some of these bigger ones I might cut into fourths. And we're just going to put them in a little bowl here. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil and some salt and pepper on them. And then we've got our beer glaze that is coming together that we'll put on top after they're all done roasting. Now today we are going to roast them in our brand new Deluxe Airfryer. I'm really excited about this product that's coming out March 1st. It is not only an air fryer, it actually has 6 different settings. It's 3 appliances in one because it also has a rotisserie. So it comes with a rotisserie spit for your rotisserie chicken. It comes with a basket so you can throw your chicken nuggets, your french fries in there. It'll rotate as it's cooking so everything cooks evenly. It comes with a couple trays in there, and it's also a dehydrator. So you've got your air fryer, your dehydrator, and your rotisserie all in one. Very, very fun. My family's been really enjoying it. And I was told that these roasted potatoes in here were the best potatoes my family's ever had. So I'm excited to share this with you today as well. So what's really nice about our air fryer is that it has a door and it has little racks inside. We don't have to deal with a basket. We just have a door with little drawers. So that makes it really, really easy to use. We've got 6 different settings all ready to go, but everything is super customizable, super adjustable. So it's going to make this recipe really quick and easy. So once I get everything cut up, we're going to put, like I said, a little bit of olive oil, some salt and pepper on there. We're going to throw the carrots and the potatoes on the trays. And then it's just going to be about 22 minutes on the roast setting. So that'll be about 400 degrees. 400? Let's double check. 375. Close. So 375 for about 22 minutes. Now, really, an air fryer, all it is a small convection oven, really. We've got the heating element at the top. We've got fans that blow the air around. So really, it's just like a small oven. Think like Easy Bake Oven for adults. But the reason that these cook so much faster is you don't have to worry about preheating time, and because it's compact, the heat and the air is circulating around the food much easier than it would in a full-size oven. You don't get that wasted space, if you will. I've baked cakes in here. We're going to put olive oil and salt and pepper on there. I'm getting too excited. I've made cakes in here. I've done the rotisserie chicken. We've made beef jerky. I've even done cookies in here. Yes, when you decorate those fun, fancy cookies with the frosting that's dried and they've got pretty designs on them, and you wonder how people do that. They do that with the help of a dehydrator. And so I did that for the kids for Valentine's Day, and they really enjoyed that as well. So, really simple, just going to throw everything in there. We also use this for toast now. We got rid of our toaster. All you do is you put your bread, your bagel, whatever you're toasting, on one of these racks and set it on air fry, so it's 400 degrees for 4 minutes. 3-4 minutes, however long you would normally put it in your toaster. Really, really easy. So, all right, so here's our potatoes. We got some olive oil on there. You always want to have a little bit of oil on there so that they don't stick to the little racks. Little racks are dishwasher safe, which is really nice. It has a drip tray in there to catch all the drippings, which you can also use for roasting. There's a great recipe where I roast tomatoes down there, and then you make some chicken on the top. Oh, chicken in here, guys, is so good. It is so juicy. Homemade chicken tenders are the best in here. Absolutely loving them. We'll have to make those for you. I've got some great salads you can make with homemade chicken tenders. I'll have to make that for you coming up. It'll be a good spring recipe. All right, so a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. That olive oil on there. So now we've got our potatoes ready to go. And we'll put those right on the top rack. And on the middle rack, we're going to put our carrots. So we're just using baby carrots. You could get regular carrots and cut them up and make them all pretty and fancy if you'd like. We're going simple today. Just the baby carrots. Again, a little bit of oil. And we'll toss them in the oil, put them on the tray, and sprinkle with a little salt and pepper. And that's all there is to it. Then we'll just set it in there, hit roast, adjust the time to about 22 minutes. And then we'll check on them. We'll go check on our cabbage while these are going. We'll check on our brisket, our corned beef. And soon our entire meal is going to come together, and it's going to be delicious. Delicious. And we didn't have to take all day doing it in a slow cooker. That's one thing that's hard about the corned beef and cabbage is you feel like you need to get that started first thing in the morning so that it can slow cook all day. But this is a way to make that entire meal, and you don't have to make it first thing in the morning and have it slow cook all day. All right, so we're going to turn this to roast and press the button. And we're going to just adjust the time to 22 minutes and press start. And that's all there is to it. We do have a light, so we can check on our veggies as they're cooking. But we're just going to leave them be. I'm going to check on the cabbage. We'll check on the corned beef, on the glaze, and we're going to get it all put together for you. All right, guys, dinner's ready. Let's get everything together. We've got in the quick cooker here, we'll just release the rest of the pressure. After the corned beef brisket was done cooking, I just let it kind of release pressure naturally for a while until we were ready to eat. Keeps it nice and warm. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So we just release the rest of the pressure. Take the top off here. And then we are going to reach in and we're going to get some of this brisket out of here and plate it up.
Okay, go.
All right, here we go. Here's our slice of corned beef. Doesn't that look delicious? All right, so we've got our delicious corned beef. We're going to add some of that cabbage with the onions and the bacon. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. We'll get a wedge of the cabbage here. Make sure we get some of that bacon. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. I love the pieces that have a little bit of crunch left to them. So we'll add that in there. And then, are you guys ready to see these vegetables? My gosh, I love, love the new Deluxe Airfryer. Look at these potatoes. They are perfectly done. Nice and browned and crispy, but still soft on the inside. So we're going to get some of these potatoes down here. And we get some of those carrots, again, beautifully roasted. Now you may have noticed when I put the vegetables in, I had the potatoes on top and the carrots on the bottom, and they are switched now. The air fryer will beep halfway through its cooking cycle so that you can swap the trays so that one of them is not super close to the heating element the whole time, that you can switch them up a little bit. It gives you a lot more even cooking. So put that right back in there to stay warm. And then our lovely glaze that we made, nice little sauce for our vegetables. Just put that right on there, just drizzle it just for some flavor. Nice sweet beer glaze. We could probably also put some on that corned beef. I bet that would be pretty good. And then you can serve that, remember that corned beef and cabbage. The cabbage had the mustard seeds in it, and we had some of the mustard powder in with the glaze. So we're going to put a little bit of just stone ground mustard on the side to serve, to dip with. And then, of course, don't forget your Irish beer to go with. So there you have it. Perfect, delicious, really, really simple Irish dinner for St. Patrick's Day. So when you're looking for something quick and easy and delicious with a little bit of a new twist on it, you should give these recipes a try. So thank you guys for joining me today. Thanks as always to Sunshine Supper for letting us use their wonderful kitchen. If you're in the Sun Prairie area, you should come on out for a Monday night dinner. It's open to everyone. And if you would like to learn more about any of these products that we use today, you should head on over to pamperedchef.com and you can search for me, Rachel Hanson, or your local Pampered Chef consultant. Thanks. We'll see you next time.